Dr. Angela Brown Burke has her eyes on the prize. She's focused on her goal of becoming the next chairperson of the People's National Party. Her fellow comrade and challenger, Philip Paulwell, believes that he has a 50-50 chance of becoming the chairman of the party. It is very sad that the factions, the tensions, and the divisiveness continue to drown the People's National Party. And however, if they choose to come to an agreement by November 29th at the meeting of the National Executive Council, it seems very likely that Member of Parliament for St. Andrew South West, Dr. Angela Brown Burke, will create political history if she emerges as the chairperson of the People's National Party. It was only on November 7th that Mark Golding was elected the new president, and Dr. Angela Brown Burke was his campaign director, and she has the full support of the newly elected president and opposition leader. Dr. Angela Brown Burke is being challenged by Philip Paulwell, who is the Member of Parliament for Kingston East and Port Royal. It is within this constituency that Norman Gordon's municipal division falls, and this is also where Dr. Angela Brown Burke was once a councillor, and where she held the seat for her Kingston mayoralty. During the lead-up to the People's National Party's presidential elections, Philip Paulwell had publicly declared that he would not actively participate in the 2020 presidential campaigns. But later he made a request and encouraged the delegates of Region 3 to support Lisa Hanna's candidacy. Fortunately for Paulwell, Lisa Hanna managed to beat Mark Golding in Region 3, which is headed by him. But unfortunately for him, Lisa Hanna lost the overall internal elections by approximately 296 votes. According to Paulwell, he limited his ability to persuade comrades to a region which he had been familiar with for many years. And the candidate did win the region. What the people in this party know me for is that I am a party man. When the issue of leadership is settled, as was with the case of Portia Simpson Miller and Peter Phillips, he chose to support his leader. The party cannot succeed if the leader fails, said Paulwell, who has put his chances at 50-50. Angela Brown Burke has said that she was honored to serve the party and that she was willing to serve in any capacity. But the monumental leap to the chairmanship was not lost on her. Victory would make her the first female to become the chairperson of this very old political organization. Angela Brown Burke has sought to play down the authority of the role and has said that the post of chairperson has been largely ceremonial, adding that the party's constitution did not address it in any details beyond procedural responsibilities. But she has grand visions on a more expansive reach for her goal of achieving that position within the People's National Party. She further went on to state that I see the role as being far more fundamental. The chairperson sets the tone and then leads by example. But it also provides the opportunity to do other things, including having important conversations and developing important programs around the party's philosophy and policies. I believe that this is a huge part of the unity process that the PNP will be undertaking. As spokesperson for Mark Golding in what was a largely bitter campaign for the presidency. Angela Brown Burke said that she's well aware of the fracture that continues to plague the party. She mentioned that the members of the party need not discuss their issues in the public. Currently, we do not know how to speak to each other and speak of each other without being disrespectful. I have always been known as someone to protect the democratic space, said Burke, who has served in every capacity from a canvasser to vice president of the People's National Party. The party has descended into public political chaos and has chosen to use social media platforms as a means of expressing themselves and their issues, whilst hiding in the shadows to protect themselves politically. Many sources close to the party also are of the opinion that the People's National Party would have formed several groups since 1992, and that the supporters of P.J. Patterson from 1992 are the same persons along with their descendants who are currently causing problems for the party in 2020. Many believe that the form of these groups have changed over time. They further went on to say that there is a group who are considered to be the intellectual groups, and then you have the destabilizing groups, then you have those who are pro-female and those who are anti-female. You have groups that are anti-money, and you have groups who are anti-youth, you have groups who are pro-youth, and at this time there are even some groups that are just focused on foolishness. Fortunate that the worst things that will come out about the party are usually put on display, and they are usually put in display in the lead up to a leadership race or for a critical post within the PNP. And this has continued from about 2005. Currently, both Angela Brown Burke and Philip Paulwell have served as People's National Party's vice presidents, with Philip Paulwell being an incumbent. He is currently a vice president of the party, and if he were to be elected as the chairperson, there would be a need for a new election to fill that vacancy. Both Dr. Angela Brown Burke and Philip Paulwell have served in opposing camps for the last two leadership challenges, which saw Paulwell supporting Lisa Hanna and Dr. Angela Brown Burke providing avid support for the now 6th President of the People's National Party, Mark Golding. Philip Paulwell would have supported former President Dr. Peter Phillips in the 2019 presidential race against Peter Bunting, and provided support and even advocated for delegates to give Lisa Hanna their full support in 2020 in her challenge to become the president of the PNP on November 7th. Dr. Angela Brown Burke served as campaign director for Mark Golding, and she was a campaign official in Peter Bunting's losing challenge to Dr. Peter Phillips in 2019. However, she played a critical role in Mark Golding's success in 2020, and therefore it is only natural that Mark Golding would want to see Dr. Angela Brown Burke, who has proven her loyalty and has proven that success is her mandate, role of chairperson for the People's National Party. And I believe that the NEC and all of the People's National Party's members and supporters should allow Mark Golding to make his choice. They should allow him to have the desires of his heart, to see Dr. Dayton Campbell as General Secretary, and to see Dr. Angela Brown Burke as the new chairperson of the People's National Party. After all, he's the one who is in need of the support, because he has 4 vice presidents around him whose loyalties lie elsewhere. If you agree, Leave your comments down below, and if you don't, please do so. Thanks for watching.